It's on.
It's on like King Kong. That's a very good question. When was I ready to have a baby?
I was engaged and we had our wedding set for a year later. We'd postponed that one just because I felt like I didn't want to get married while I couldn't walk, but then eventually realised it was more about marrying in person.
I just really felt that that was the time. I'd spent 4 years in the chair. I felt like I knew my body well enough and that, I was ready to take that next step. So I got pregnant naturally. It didn't take much effort.
I didn't know if I would ever be physically ready to have a child, but I knew that I had a good partner and a good support network around me. If I wasn't ready, they were. I have one daughter, Evelyn, who is 21 months old.
I've got 2 boys, Dylan, who is 6, and Jensen, who is 4.
So, how long ago was it now?
2.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. My fiancé at the time and I were just driving back to our farm, halfway between Pinner and Loxton, so about 3 hours away. Weren't doing anything wrong, we were just driving on our side of the road under the speed limit, and unfortunately coming the other way was a lady driving too fast on the wrong side of the road who cut the corner and caused a head-on collision. So it was a whole jumble of emergency services and whatnot, but I've got no recollection, but so I'm told. I had the MRI which showed that it was a C6-7 spinal injury.
My injury occurred about 10.5 years ago on the 31st of March 2009. I was riding to work on my bike. I had got to a point where I was up off the saddle on the pedals. I ran into a pothole and flew over the handlebars, and straight away while I was lying on the road I couldn't feel my abs or my legs, so I knew I'd sustained a spinal cord injury. At the time of my accident, when the ambulance guys came and got me, they thought I was T6, but when they actually did an MRI, they found that I was T4. At first, you don't feel much, obviously, in the first trimester, and that's even as an able-bodied, you don't really feel a lot, I don't think.
With spinal cord injury, to begin with, I suffered a lot with fluid retention, especially in my legs and my feet. And that only got worse with pregnancy. So it was a double whammy.
Obviously, I had morning sickness in the first, 15 weeks, so that was horrible.
I suffered with low blood pressure, inability to kind of deal with the heat, which these actually improved a little bit when I was pregnant. So my body almost liked pregnancy with a spinal cord injury. I was told about getting pregnant that, in a sense, the body knows what it's got to do.
With Jensen, I was taking pregabalin beforehand, which was for neuropathic pain. Pregabalin is contraindication to pregnancy, so I had to stop that. Because of the urinary tract infections, I had to go on prophylactic antibiotics. Prophylactic just means a constant antibiotics on a small dose. One medication I had to drop completely because it wasn't safe, so that was for my muscle spasms. Another medication I had to change was the antidepressant that I was on, which again had its own detriments because the substitute antidepressant wasn't as effective for me. But I guess I had that knowledge of some of these sad feelings are countered by the fact that I'm growing a human. Like, who gets to do that? Who gets to grow a kid and have that reward at the end of having a child that you can call yours? I spoke to my obstetrician about having an induction at 38 weeks because I didn't want to go to 40 weeks because it was more difficult with transferring and getting myself around, but also I just wouldn't know when I was going to go into labour.
I was booked in for an induction at 38 weeks as well from the recommendation of the obstetrician. You know, jump in the car, cruise into hospital, have the induction, but also because, going to full term of 40 weeks may have an extra impact on my body. So, it was decided that it was best for both me and Bubs to be induced at 38 weeks.
I went to do the whole natural thing, but about an hour and a half into labour, the baby's heartbeat was dropping and wasn't coming back up quick enough, so they had to do an emergency C-section, which at the time I was terrified about, in a sense, because I'm like, well, I don't have any abs, I don't know how well I'm going to heal, because sometimes it takes longer for you to heal. But I went in there because I'm like, well, this is what's best for the baby, so I just have to go through with it.
The way that my body felt the contractions was more as a tightness in my head, with blood pressure, I guess, more than the tightness in my belly, like you would if you had full sensation. So the delivery went really well. I was actually able to push Evelyn out with some assistance with the nurses and Luke, you know, a couple of little pushes on the belly, but also just being able to use, I guess, the contractions, and Evelyn wanting to work her way out. She was ready to come into the world. But then it was after delivery that Evelyn was a little bit purple and needed a bit of pick-me-up to start with, but also that I went into, I guess, quite a bit of shock from delivery. Best way I can describe it is my body went, what the heck have you just done? And it took me about 2 hours to recover. So I did get an initial cuddle, I guess, skin on skin with Evelyn.
Whether it's spinal cord injury or not, it's amazing to be able to feel that you're just growing this little life, and like the love that you feel for that child, like before it's even born, is just amazing. Like you just pat your belly going, oh, like I love you.
How do we do?